If the book we're reading doesn't wake us up with a blow on the head, what are we reading it for? This provocative question from Franz Kafka perfectly encapsulates the power of philosophical fiction. While pure philosophy can sometimes feel inaccessible or abstract, novels with philosophical underpinnings offer a unique gateway to profound ideas. They challenge our perceptions, question our beliefs, and often leave us pondering long after we've turned the last page. For those intimidated by dense philosophical treatises or simply seeking a more engaging approach to big ideas, today I'm presenting 7 philosophical novels that promise to deliver that metaphorical blow to the head Kafka speaks of. These books mix engaging stories with deep philosophical questions, making them great for both experienced thinkers and newcomers to philosophy. To ensure a diverse range of perspectives, I've limited myself to 1 book per author. Let's begin. Notes from Underground. We start with a literary thunderbolt that shook the foundations of 19th century philosophical thought, Fyodor Dostoevsky's Notes from Underground. This novel is a great example of how rationalism and societal conformity can be critiqued through fiction. The novel uses the perspective of an unnamed narrator, often called the underground man, to explore the complexities of the human mind and the concept of free will. This work is an early example of existentialist thinking. It features a protagonist who is deeply self-aware and gets stuck in a cycle of overthinking that separates him from the world around him. The underground man's struggle is not only against society, but also against the idea that people can be purely rational and predictable. Dostoevsky challenges the idealistic views that were common at the time. He believes that the human spirit naturally resists being limited to purely logical behavior. The novel looks at the irrational side of human nature, our ability to act against our own interests, to choose suffering over comfort, and to enjoy our own misery. Dostoevsky uses this flawed and troubled character to make us think about the limits of reason, the nature of free will, and the mixed impulses that drive human behavior. Whether you're into philosophy or just curious, Dostoevsky's sharp insights make this novel an unforgettable journey that will have you thinking long after the last page. Metamorphosis. We continue our journey into philosophical fiction with Franz Kafka's surreal masterpiece, The Metamorphosis. This short but powerful novella sees Kafka plunge readers into a world where the absurd becomes reality, challenging our ideas about identity, purpose, and human worth. The story's premise, a man inexplicably transformed into a giant insect, serves as a stark metaphor for alienation in modern society. Kafka's genius lies in his ability to use this bizarre scenario to explore some big existential questions. How do we define ourselves when our physical form changes? What is our value when we can't meet the expectations of our roles in society? Kafka delves into themes of dehumanization, family dynamics, and the pressure of societal expectations through Gregor Samsa's experience. The novella is open to interpretation, making it a rich source for philosophical discussions on topics ranging from the nature of consciousness to the absurdity of existence. The Metamorphosis shows Kafka's talent for turning the strange into a reflection of the human condition, offering readers a disturbing but enlightening glimpse into the depths of our own psyche. 1984. Next on our list is George Orwell's chilling dystopian masterpiece, 1984, a book that imagines a frightening future where the government controls everything. Written in 1949, this story takes place in a world where 3 big countries are always at war. The main character, Winston Smith, lives in a place called Oceania, where a powerful group led by Big Brother watches everyone all the time. They even try to control what people think and remember. Orwell's book makes us think about some big questions. Can we really be free if someone is always watching us? What happens when a government lies about the past and changes language to control how people think? The story also makes us think about how much we value being able to think for ourselves and have privacy. Even though it's fiction, 1984 feels very real and makes us worry about what could happen if governments become too powerful. It's a book that stays with you long after you've finished reading. making you look at the world around you differently and question things you might have taken for granted. The Stranger. We now turn to Albert Camus' The Stranger, a novel that is both an engaging story and a great example of absurdist philosophy. Published in 1942, this short but powerful book follows Meursault, an ordinary man whose life takes an extraordinary turn. What's fascinating is how Meursault views the world. He doesn't react in the way most people do. Camus shows us that life has no real meaning or purpose through Meursault's perspective. He suggests that lots of things happen without any reason, which can be hard for people to accept. The novel not only explores absurdism but also embodies it, prompting us to reflect on why we do what we do and whether our reasons truly make sense. It also challenges us to think about what it means to be a good person in a seemingly indifferent world. If you're interested in existentialism, absurdism, or the human condition, The Stranger is a must-read. Brave New World. Now we'll continue our journey with Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. This book imagines a future world that might seem perfect at first, but actually has some big problems. Huxley shows us a place where people are always happy and never have to worry about anything. But this comes at a cost. People don't think for themselves or feel deep emotions anymore. The book makes us think about some important questions. Is it better to be comfortable all the time, or to experience both good and bad feelings? What happens when science and technology are used to control people instead of helping them? Huxley also asks us to consider what makes us human. Is it our ability to choose for ourselves, even if we might make mistakes? The story warns us about what could happen if we let others control every part of our lives, even if they say it's for our own good. It's a book that makes you look at our own world differently and wonder if some of the things we think are helpful might actually be taking away our freedom to be truly human. Candide. Now we'll continue with Candide by Voltaire, a book from 1759 that's both funny and thought-provoking. The story follows Candide, a character who always tries to see the bright side of things, even when really bad things happen to him. Voltaire uses Candide's adventures to poke fun at the idea that everything happens for a good reason. As we read, we see Candide go through lots of ups and downs, constantly changing his mind about whether the world is a good place or not. The book makes us think about how we deal with the good and bad things that happen in life. Voltaire suggests that instead of trying to find a reason for everything, especially the bad stuff, we should focus on what we can control, like taking care of ourselves and the people around us. He uses the phrase, "cultivate our own garden," to explain this idea. It's a way of saying we should work on making our own lives and communities better, rather than worrying about big questions we can't answer. Candide is a quick and entertaining read that still makes us think about how we see the world and handle life's challenges. It's a great example of Enlightenment philosophy, using satire to challenge established beliefs and encourage critical thinking. Fahrenheit 451. Next up is Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury, a book that imagines a world where reading is against the law. Bradbury's story makes us think about what would happen if we lost the right to read and learn freely. The main character, Guy Montag, has a job burning books, but he starts to question whether this is the right thing to do. This book makes us consider some big ideas in simple ways. It makes us think about why books and ideas are important, and what happens when a government tries to control what people can know or think. Bradbury shows us a world where people are always distracted by TV and don't take time to think deeply about things. He wants us to see how important it is to question things and make our own choices. The story also makes us think about how technology can be good or bad, depending on how we use it. Even though it was written a long time ago, Fahrenheit 451 still has a lot to say about our world today, where we have so much information at our fingertips, but don't always use it wisely. It's a quick read that leaves you with plenty to think about, especially when it comes to valuing knowledge and protecting our right to learn and share ideas. And there you have it, a journey through some of the most thought-provoking books out there. Which one caught your interest the most? Reading these stories isn't just about enjoying a good book. It's about discovering new ideas that might change how you think. Happy reading, and remember, The best book is the one that keeps you thinking long after you finish the last page. Thank you for watching.